Most men think power is loud. They think it's in the booming voice, the waving hands, the constant motion. But the truth is, the most dangerous man in any room is the stillest. When you move too much, you broadcast your anxiety. Every fidget, every tap, every adjustment whispers, "I'm uncomfortable." And in the brutal game of power, comfort is control. If they see your discomfort, they own you before the first word is spoken. Picture two men in a meeting. One leans forward, nodding, shifting, laughing too quickly. The other sits perfectly still, eyes steady, posture unbroken, hands resting like stone. Who do you think the room notices? Who do they worry about? Stillness builds tension, and tension forces the other person to move first. You see, stillness isn't passive. It's a weapon. When you do nothing, you force them to fill the silence, to explain themselves, to show you their hand. While they're busy moving, talking, revealing, you are collecting data, calculating, judging, deciding when and if to strike. If Machiavelli were in that room, he would not be the man shuffling in his chair. He would be the man whose posture never changes, whose face betrays nothing, whose very stillness whispers, "I know more than you think, and I'm deciding whether or not you need to know it too." Machiavelli understood that stillness makes others doubt themselves. It makes them wonder, why isn't he reacting? What does he know? That doubt is a crack in their confidence. And he would widen it without a single word. From now on, your movements must be deliberate. Sit without fidgeting. Stand like your position is unquestionable. Move only when it matters, and when you do, make it slow, controlled, intentional. The less you do, the more weight every action carries. Because in a world full of overreactors, the man who stays still becomes the man they fear most. And a predator that doesn't move is the one they never see coming.
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Most people believe lies are told with words, but the most convincing lies are told with the body. Your audience will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you looked when you said it. The nervous liar exposes himself without knowing it. His smile comes too quickly, his shoulders rise with shallow breaths, his hands fidget as if trying to find a safe place. The truth isn't in the sentence, it's in the tremor of the voice. The twitch in the eye, the way his weight shifts on his feet. The powerful understand this. They train their body to speak certainty, even when the words are dangerous, even when the words are false. If your posture is relaxed, your breathing steady, your gestures minimal and precise, people believe you, not because your argument is flawless, but because you look like a man with nothing to prove. Imagine a room in crisis. A company collapsing, everyone speaking fast, pacing, hands flying in panic. And then, there's you, leaning back, breathing slowly, your face a blank wall, your voice calm and measured. You don't match their chaos. You replace it with your stillness, and suddenly, you're the one they listen to. Machiavelli would master this like a craftsman. He would rehearse his expressions until they could not betray him. He would breathe slowly in the middle of danger, not because he felt calm, but because he knew calmness was the language of power. He would mirror just enough of another's posture to build trust, and then freeze, making them unconsciously follow his rhythm. His control over his body would be so complete that even truth and falsehood would look the same on his face. From this moment on, you separate what you feel from what you show. Panic is private. Doubt is private. Anger is private. What the world sees is the mask you choose. Relax your shoulders, loosen your jaw, anchor your hands, breathe low and slow, as if nothing in the room can touch you, because the man who looks certain is believed before he's even spoken. And in the game of power, that belief is the most dangerous weapon you can carry. Most people fear the gaze. They flinch. They glance away. They break it too soon. And every time they do, they give away their position in the hierarchy. Eye contact is more than looking. It's a silent test. It's confrontation without words. It's the fastest way to discover who holds control and who folds under it. You've seen it before. Two people meet eyes. One looks away first. It's over. The moment is decided. Without saying a word, one has declared dominance, and the other has accepted it. The weak use their eyes like a handshake they can't maintain. The powerful use them like a blade, steady, unshaken, never rushed. Your gaze should not burn with anger or drip with need. It should disturb with certainty. Calm, fixed, unmoved. Hold it just a fraction longer than comfort allows. Not enough to seem aggressive. Just enough to make them wonder what you see that they don't. When they speak, let your eyes stay locked, your face unreadable. The silence in your gaze will make them fill the space with words, with explanations, with nervous gestures, each one giving you more to work with. Machiavelli would master this the way a hunter masters his bow. He would use his eyes to pin a man in place without lifting a finger. In council, he would stare until the other began to over-explain. In negotiation, he would hold his gaze until the opponent felt the need to justify their own terms. He would understand that the gaze is not just sight, it's pressure. Pressure that makes others bend without knowing why. From now on, you train this skill. Start with yourself in the mirror. Learn to hold your own reflection without blinking too quickly, then bring it to real conversations, staying just still enough, just silent enough to make them squirm. When they avert their eyes, they've already conceded ground. Because the man who can look without flinching doesn't just see the world, he makes the world see him. The world is full of bait, insults dressed as jokes, questions designed to corner you, provocations meant to make you crack. And most people take the bait every single time. They defend, they explain, they get loud, and in that moment, they hand over the map to their emotions. Now the enemy knows exactly where to press next time. The first to react is always the easiest to control, because reaction is predictable. Predictability is weakness, and weakness is a leash waiting to be pulled. The powerful do not take the bait. They don't rush to correct. They don't scramble to prove their worth. They let the words hang in the air until the weight of silence falls on the other person. When someone makes a joke at their expense, they stare, still, unreadable. When someone raises their voice, they lower theirs. When others speed up, they slow down. This reversal shifts the balance instantly. It forces the aggressor to reveal more, to lose control, to feel foolish for trying. Machiavelli would see provocation as a gift, not a threat. Every insult would be a window into the other man's insecurities. Every emotional outburst would be a map to his blind spots. He would remain silent, collecting data, while the other burned through his own credibility. And when the moment was right, he would strike. Not in anger, but with precision. From now on, when they try to shake you, don't move. Don't explain. Don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they've touched you. Your calm will choke them more than your outrage ever could, because the man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. Most people fear silence. They feel it as an emptiness to be filled, a gap that needs words, and that fear is why they give away everything. They reveal too much. They justify what was never questioned. They volunteer details you didn't even ask for, all because the silence made them uncomfortable. The powerful use that discomfort as a weapon. They speak less than others. They pause before answering. They let the silence stretch until the other person can't take it anymore. And in their rush to break it, they hand over the very information you need. This is not passivity. It's control. Every pause says, I am choosing my words, and they matter. Every withheld response says, Your approval is not my priority. Machiavelli would wield silence like a blade. He would let an opponent talk until they tripped over their own arguments. He would end conversations early, leaving his words echoing in their mind. He would offer no validation, no easy read, forcing others to chase his approval while he remained unmoved. And, in their pursuit of closing that gap, they would bind themselves to him without even realizing it. From now on, you do the same. When someone asks a question, pause before you answer. When they expect agreement, let them wait. When they think the conversation is over, end it before they're ready, because silence starves the insecure. And when people are starving, they will follow the one who controls the table. Power is recognized before a single word is spoken. It's in the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you enter a room as if you've already decided it belongs to you. Most people give away their position the moment they cross the threshold. They rush to match the energy of others. They fidget, adjust, scan the room too quickly. They move as if seeking permission to exist there. The powerful do the opposite. They move at their own pace, unhurried, deliberate, certain. Every gesture is intentional, every step measured, every glance controlled. When you eliminate wasted movement, you remove all signs of neediness. When your posture is solid, your shoulders open, and your head still, people notice you without you having to fight for attention. They adjust to you, not the other way around. Machiavelli would use this before any discussion even began. He would enter slowly, letting the room react to him. He would take the seat he wanted without asking. His movements would be so controlled that others would instinctively slow to match his rhythm. In doing so, he would set the tempo of the encounter before a single word was exchanged. From now on, you do not follow the pace of the room. You set it. You do not mirror the nervous habits of others. You erase them. You walk as if there is no question you belong, and you stand as if you cannot be moved. Because in the hierarchy of power, presence is the first blow, and the one who controls the pace controls everything that follows. Power isn't always in what you do. Sometimes, it's in what you suddenly stop doing. In conversation, people expect a rhythm. They expect your words and movements to flow without interruption. And when you break that rhythm with a deliberate pause, the world leans in. A sudden freeze in movement, a silence before the next sentence. A stillness that feels out of place. These moments create microshocks. They jolt the other person's attention toward you, as if their instincts know something is about to happen. This is not hesitation. It's a signal, a warning. It tells them what I'm about to say matters, and without realizing it, they prepare themselves to absorb it. Machiavelli would use this like a trap. In counsel, he would speak evenly, then fall silent mid-thought, forcing others to hang on the next word. In negotiation, he would still his body entirely before naming his terms, making each one feel heavier. He would know that the pause is not an absence. It's an invisible hand, tightening control. From now on, you practice the freeze. When you want someone to listen, stop moving. When you want your words to cut deeper, stop speaking just before you deliver them. Let the pause swell until the silence feels alive, and then strike with precision. Because the man who can stop the rhythm controls the rhythm, and the man who controls the rhythm controls the room. Speed is for the desperate. The powerful move slowly, because they can. When you turn your head too quickly, you look reactive. When you shift your attention instantly, you look like you've been pulled by something stronger than you. But when you turn slowly, deliberately, you send a different message. I am in control of my time, my focus, my world. The slow turn is more than a movement. It's a display of unshakable presence. It says, I decide when I look at you. I decide when I address you, and in that split second of measured motion, you make the other person feel the weight of being noticed. Machiavelli would master this in every setting. He would never snap his head toward a distraction. He would move as though nothing could surprise him, as though every sound, every shift, every word was already expected. And when he finally did turn his attention to you, it would feel less like curiosity and more like judgment. From now on, you own the tempo of your movements. If something demands your attention, give it, but give it slowly. If you decide to turn towards someone, make the motion controlled, like a king acknowledging a subject. Because quickness belongs to those chasing the moment. Slowness belongs to those who own it. Power is physical before it's political. Before anyone hears your words, they see the territory you take or give away. The weak shrink. They fold their arms, pull their shoulders in, cross their legs too tightly. They sit on the edge of chairs as if they're guests in their own lives. Every inch they surrender tells the room they don't belong. The powerful claim space without apology. They plant their feet wide. They rest an arm across a chair. They lean back, unhurried, comfortable in the idea that this ground, this air is theirs. This is not about arrogance. It's about signaling certainty. The body that expands without fidgeting says, I am settled. I am safe. I am in control. People register this without thinking. They instinctively adjust their own posture in response, giving you more space without even realizing it. Machiavelli would treat space as currency. In court, he would sit where the light hit his face just enough to make others look at him. In council, he would occupy the head of the table without discussion. Every inch he claimed was an inch taken from someone else, and every inch lost was a reminder of who ruled the room. From now on, you stop making yourself small. You no longer fold inward to fit. Where you stand, you own. Where you sit, you command. Because in the silent language of power, the ground you claim is the respect you keep. The body leaks truth faster than the mouth ever will. Every nervous adjustment, every quick scratch, every sudden sip, it all speaks before you do, and what it says is weakness. The anxious man fixes his collar too often. The uncertain man touches his face when pressed. The insecure man takes quick, sharp sips between sentences. They think no one notices, but everyone does. The powerful move differently. When they adjust their clothing, it's slow, deliberate, almost ceremonial. When they take a sip, it's unhurried, as if they're granting themselves the time. When they touch their face, it's with purpose, not impulse. This is the delayed touch, stripping every self-contact of nervous energy until it becomes a statement instead of a tell. It reframes your movements from unconscious reactions to conscious commands. Machiavelli would understand this completely. He would never betray his thoughts with a restless hand or a twitch of impatience. If he chose to adjust his sleeve, it would be done as though time itself had slowed to watch. If he took a drink, it would not be to fill silence. It would be to force others to wait. Every touch would be another reminder that his actions belong to him, not to his nerves. From now on, you move as if every gesture is on display. You slow your hand before it reaches your collar. You lift the glass without rush, without apology. You let the world adapt to your pace, because in the game of power, nothing you do should look accidental. Every movement must feel chosen, and the man whose every action looks deliberate is the man they believe is in control of everything.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.